Hi everyone, so you're here because you want to change your career, which is great. And now by its nature, you're probably not in your early 20s if you want to change your career. That's the stage where you sort of are just starting your career. You're probably in your 30s, maybe 40s, maybe 50s. And so this video is really looking at how you can make that switch at these different age groups. You might be thinking, oh, it's difficult. Sure, it might be difficult, but the good news is it is possible and it can happen. So a prime example is myself. I was in a particular industry for 20 plus years. I made a change and moved into another industry, and I'm going to put out a video shortly about sort of the details behind how I made that change and what it meant for me and the challenges I had to overcome in order to make that change. What this video is about is just going to run through the different challenges you might have at different ages, and it's a precursor to several other videos that I'm going to put out that will be a bit more specific for those different ages. So let's say you're in your 30s. You're probably quite settled into your job at this point, and you're probably being encouraged to maintain that stability, okay? Because you're 30s, you're thinking, I've made a good start in this career. I want to have a stable career. And so if I'm thinking about changing to a different career, okay, there's a risk that comes with that sort of career change and that uncertainty and that instability. And that's probably the thinking that you have, and you sort of the self-doubt that creeps in as a result. But really, there's no need for that because you have just started your professional life in your 30s. You've got a long way to go. It might not feel like it, but you've got a long way to go. And you've already built a nice set of transferable skills. So really, for people in their 30s, it's the ideal time to make a career change. You start looking at the skills that you have, and you start thinking about the skills that the job that you want requires. And you start to match those two, and perhaps you need to upskill yourself. Again, like I said earlier in the video, I'm going to do a more detailed video about the different tactics you can use and the different sort of challenges you face in your 30s when you try to move career. So how about when you're in your 40s? Well, in your 40s, you'll have even more experience, but you'll be very settled. You'll be probably have been sort of moved up in an organization to a high level. You have a reasonable pay. And so you'll be thinking, okay, if I move careers, what is the pay drop going to be like? Is there going to be a pay drop? You're probably thinking about ageism. You're probably thinking, will you be able to get into another career at this point at the same level? You'll have a lot of concerns about financial stability because you might have a family at this point, or you might be supporting other people at this point. But actually at this level in your 40s, you have a massive amount of experience, and so you should really focus on those leadership and management roles in other organizations. There's a lot of transferable skills that you would have built up, and I can show you how to develop those skills, and you can then look at the jobs that you want. So again, like I said, you're focusing on the leadership and sort of management level jobs and looking to sideways move into those jobs in your 40s if you're looking for a career change. Again, a lot of doubts that come into play, a lot of challenges that will come into play, and again, I'll run through some of those in a bit more detail in other videos. Now then, if you're in your 50s and looking to change career, you'll have a lot of sort of pushback, I feel, from maybe people around you, because they're thinking again about your stability. They're thinking about the changes that you might end up having to make, which will be negative. You might be thinking about ageism and competing against younger people, but actually at this age, at 50s, you'll build up a massive wealth of experience, and you'll have that stability that employers really desire. Also, it's possible that by your 50s, you will be financially much more stable, and so you might be able to actually pursue a career of your choice. So I know people who, for example, have worked in IT for decades, and when they get into their 50s, they've realized actually they're not very fulfilled in their job. So they go ahead, and so one person, for example, went ahead and became a chef. So very different job, much less paid, but because they're in their 50s and they have that financial stability, they were able to pursue that up until retirement. And of course, retirement and the financial security that links to retirement is probably very high in your mind at this point in your 50s. So again, it's one of those factors to balance, and I can help you sort of work through those factors, both in the videos, but also as part of the work that I do as a life and career coach. So the main thing to think about and to take away from this video is that it's never too late to make a career change. You could be in your 30s, you could be in your 40s, you could be 50s, you could be beyond. It's never too late to make a career change. It's all about understanding where the challenges are, what your skills are, and how you can transfer those skills and overcome those challenges to get to your new career path. It'd be really interesting to hear from people about their career changes and the challenges that they felt and how successful they were. Feel free to add a comment and definitely press subscribe, because there's more videos coming out specifically looking at the challenges that we all face in terms of a career change, and also the acknowledgement of just how hard a career change can be mentally, because actually the processes that you go through are fairly straightforward, but it's the mental hurdles that you have to overcome which makes it difficult. All right, I hope you find that useful. Do press subscribe and like this video, add a comment like I said, and I will see you next time.